Hi, everybody. I am in such a better headspace than I was yesterday, and that is in no small part thanks to all of you and your support. So thank you so much for that. I like to consider myself a pretty emotionally resilient person, and I like to think that when things happen to me, I can just kind of bounce right back like nothing happened at all and be fine. But sometimes I have to remind myself that at the end of the day, I am still a person. And there's only so much that you can put into someone's cup before it overflows. So that's what happened to me yesterday. I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said or did because I don't think I did anything wrong. But I do admit that some people might have had a problem with it. And I acknowledge that that is regrettable for those people. I do have some good news today. It has been about 5 or 6 days, depending on who you ask, since the baby went missing, which means that now we can pretty safely assume that the situation is behind us. And I know that a lot of people would probably consider that to be a bad thing. But I want to present to you an alternative way of looking at the situation. So stick with me here because I understand that this is a little bit unorthodox, but I've been considered a weirdo my whole life. I'm not going to all of a sudden expect any different now. In our culture, we typically view death as bad. And we pretend to be sad when someone dies because that's how other people expect us to react. And, we cry at the funeral and whatever. In other cultures, however, death is good. Death is a good thing. Death is a celebration. They don't have funerals in other cultures. They have parties. And I often wondered why that disparity existed. And I really think that what it boils down to is that our culture is so deeply selfish and self-centered. Our culture relies on us being the center of the universe in order to function. In other words, we have a very individualistic society. So, of course, we're going to be upset when somebody dies because we're not thinking about them. We're thinking about ourselves and how their death affects us. We're thinking about all the things that they can no longer give to us and provide to us now that they're dead. We don't care about them. Even down to our language, we say things like turn left, turn right. Those don't make any sense as directions because then you have to say, well, do you mean my left or your left? And it's not an objective truth, left and right. It only makes sense if, again, you're the center of the universe. Everything exists in relation to you. And in other cultures, they don't have that. They don't say left and right. They say east and west and north and south. And so, of course, we're going to be selfish because it permeates every single thing that we do. My wife does not get this at all. And I completely understand why. Because she is a goody two-shoes. She's not like me. I like to question the mainstream view of things. Whenever everybody tells me how to feel about something, that's when I know that I need to think about it for myself and figure out how I feel. Because there's probably something that everybody's hiding from me. My wife, on the other hand, she'll just do whatever you tell her to. If you told her to jump off a bridge because everybody else was doing it, she'd grab her flippers. But I am not like that. And I need somebody in a partner who is a little bit more free-spirited and a little bit more of a free thinker. So that's definitely why our relationship sucked for so long. And it's definitely why it ended in divorce. And it's why she cannot let go of this baby situation. And that's why her first instinct, because she's white, was to call the police and try to get them to work for her like they always do. So the police, another prime example of our selfish, individualistic society, the police exist to punish people when they have wronged us. They don't prevent crime from happening. They don't do anything to stop crime. They exist solely to punish it after it's been done, because it makes us feel better. It makes us feel like we got what we deserve. Justice and retribution and revenge, which are such disgusting things. Any functioning community-centered culture would not have those as the foundation of their justice system. But of course, that's how we view everything. And so the police, because they're reflective of our culture, they got their tendrils in my wife, and they started filling her head with all sorts of ideas that if I had been allowed to control the situation the way I wanted, would not have got in her head. So now she thinks I did something wrong, and she's helping them try to take me down, even though they can't prove that I did anything. And honestly, they should just get over it, because I don't understand why we already lost one life. Why now do we have to ruin my life on top of it? Even if you consider the baby to be a tragedy, wouldn't you want to stop the tragedy from becoming any more of a tragedy? Why then do you want to ruin my life on top of it? Think about, I am so talented. I have so much good to give to the world. And because I'm not saying I did anything. I'm just saying that if you think that I did something, you want to stop all of that. You want to stop me from putting all of the good things into the world that I could possibly put into it, because you think I did one bad thing. That's not fair. I didn't do anything wrong, and the police know that. They just need an excuse to justify their existence. All they do all day is, we have people, homeless junkies littering our streets here in Los Angeles. Everywhere you go, there's some crackhead wandering around trying to cause mayhem. And these people need to be housed. They need to be taken care of. And yet the police are focused on pulling people over for going 45 in a 35 mile per hour zone. And some baby that was only alive for a couple days. We barely had time to accept that this baby even existed. I wasn't even used to it. So what's the difference, honestly, now that it's gone versus 2 days before it was born? I don't understand it. And I know that it doesn't make any sense. It just frustrates me when it seems like everybody else is under some delusion and I'm the only one seeing the things clearly. It pisses me off, frankly. And now I'm trying to think about how the hell I'm going to get out of a situation that I shouldn't even have been in to begin with. But all that being said, like I said, I have to put things into perspective sometimes, because I know that this is a good thing for me at the end of the day. I spent so long being shackled to my wife and being shackled to the idea of having a baby. I mean, I hated it. I did not want that baby, and I hated thinking about what my life was going to be like after it was born. So, if you think about it, I'm in a great place right now, because not only is my future as a house husband out of the picture, but my wife's out of the picture, and her family doesn't want to talk to me anymore. which, I guess they thought that would upset me, but that's the best news I've ever heard, that they don't want to talk to me. That's great. Please stay out of my life. And I know that my wife's parents live up in Santa Barbara in some shithole, and I know that she's staying with them because I've seen her silhouette in the window of their house, and I know that it's her. I know my wife's own silhouette, and I know how her voice sounds, and I know how she moves and all of that stuff. So I know that she's in that house. They won't let me in. They won't even let me talk to them on the phone. Like I said, not that I want to. It's just I was under the impression that maybe we could talk about this like adults and figure it out. But apparently that's not what they want to do. They would rather get out the cavalry to ruin my life. It wasn't good enough that they tried to ruin my life the first time, making me have this baby. Now they've got to ruin my life for a second, third, fourth, and fifth time for good. So all of that being said, I really do think that because I didn't do anything wrong, this is all going to blow over soon, and I don't have to worry about it. So I don't even know why I'm spending all this time being stressed out over nothing. The police have tried to take me in for a couple interviews, and I've been very good because I've had enough run-ins with the police by now. I know that you got to keep your lips sealed. If that's a important lesson for anybody, if the cops ever talk to you, don't say a single word to them without your lawyer. Because anything you say, there's a reason why they say that. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And anything you say can't help you. So you might as well just say nothing. If you're ever stopped by the police, if it's a traffic ticket or whatever, then just say whatever you can to move on with your day. But if they accuse you of then you have to keep your lips sealed. Believe me. So, I think that all of that to say, I think it's going to be fine. I'll keep you updated if anything else happens, but I have a feeling that it's blue skies from here on out for me. So I'm not worried at all. And I'm looking forward to the future. I know I got a little heated earlier, but I really, at the core of it, I am optimistic. So, yay, right? Everything's great. So, have a great day.